everyone, my name is Adriana. I'm a third year PPE student at the University of Warwick. This year I have been on a year abroad in Belgium, and next year I will return to the University of Warwick to finish my degree. I want to talk to you a bit today about my degree, about PPE, and I'll try to shine some light on how it works and why I love it so much, what I think the strengths of this degree are. Just to preface everything a little bit, what I'm gonna tell you in terms of modules is not necessarily factual information, because these things, they are subject to change every year. So I suggest that if you want to know whether they are gonna stay the same, or if you have some additional information, that you email the university directly, and they will be able to tell you much more precisely. You can find the email addresses on the university's webpage, specifically the PPE page in this case, and I actually suggest you take a look at that, because I think it's really informative. Okay, so PPE stands for Philosophy, Politics and Economics. It's an interdisciplinary degree, so that means you would have to study all three subjects, and the purpose of this is to sort of provide you with a broader view and a very good understanding of how things work together in our society. So for example, what would be the implication of implementing a policy, or what triggers what, and so on. I'll tell you a bit about what I actually had to study in my first and my second years. So in my first year, I had a number of core modules that I had to take. So those are modules that you absolutely have to take, and I had them from all three departments, so from philosophy, from politics and from economics. And then I also had some additional maths related subjects that were there to provide support for your current and future economics modules. Apart from these core modules, I could choose 30 CATs worth of optional modules. For reference, in my first year I had 150 CATs, and my second year I had 120 CATs. So 30 CATs would mean either one module that would take the whole year, or two smaller modules that would only last for one term. In terms of how you choose these optional modules, normally you're able to choose from either of the three departments, so from either philosophy, politics and economics, but you might also be able to choose from external departments. So some popular choices are, for example, languages or Warwick Business School modules. I didn't have a lot of freedom in my first year, but that is just because they want to lay a very solid foundation for you to be able to study whatever you might want to study in your second and third years. In my second year and my third year, that's quite compensated, because I could choose pretty much everything that I had to do. Most of it was just my choice, which brings me to actually one of the best opportunities I think that PPE at Warwick gave me, which was to choose my pathway. So what is a pathway? Well, at the end of my first year, I had the opportunity to drop one subject and focus on the other two. And I think that's a great choice that you could make, because, for example, by the end of the first year, I was absolutely certain that I love philosophy, and I had a lot of interest in many economics related subjects, but I wasn't as excited about politics. So I could just drop politics and focus on economics and philosophy. And in the same way, we could combine either of the two. And for those that include economics, you could choose to major in economics, and that would mean kind of focusing for about 75% of your modules on economics modules, and then the rest would be the other subject that you chose. But the best part about it, what I believe at least, is that you will end up with a PPE degree either way, and that's because of the modules that you have taken in the first year, and also some interdisciplinary core modules that happen in the third year. But also because as a PPE student, I find that you are constantly being exposed to topics from all three subjects, because either you're gonna meet this approach in class, or in your discussions with your colleagues, or you'll just look for them. I think you kind of develop that sort of mindset in your first year, and you just look for them, and you have this holistic fashion of looking at things if you want. The other really big important choice that I had to make, and that I'm really happy I could make, is of going on a year abroad. So normally the PPE degree lasts for 3 years, but we could, if we wanted, to add an additional year abroad through either one of these departments. I chose economics because, again, I chose economics and philosophy for myself. And you have a variety of countries to choose from. I chose Belgium for myself. There's also a lot of other countries in Europe, but also outside of Europe. I have some friends that are in Japan, I have some friends in Australia, and so on. And pro tip, if this sounds interesting to you, I suggest that you get informed about it in your first year, because there might be some requirements, for example, some languages, not necessarily, but there might be some requirements that you have to meet in order to be able to do this year abroad. But I also want to tell you why I think this degree is so great, and what makes me enjoy it so much, and why I think it's actually the best choice that I could have made for myself for university. And it's all about the people. It's just the people. It's my teachers, my tutors, my peers as well. All of them are really passionate about what they're doing. And for the teachers, for example, it counts a lot, because believe me, their passion does transmit to the rest of us. And I enjoy their approach to teaching a lot, in that they encourage independent thought and encourage creativity. But there's also a lot of support available whenever we don't understand something. There's so many people that we could ask. There's our lecturer, our tutors from the seminars, people from the PPE department, and our colleagues as well. There are so many people that you could ask. There's also lots of resources available, and even though you have to do work on your own, you have to work yourself and kind of become independent in that sense. There's also a lot of guidance. There's lots of resources. People will tell you where to look, and they will help you when you need it. And apart from that, there's this encouragement to speak up, to ask a question when you don't understand. There's no such thing as a stupid question, really, I find, at Warwick. For example, in my first year, I was actually so afraid to speak up. I would think things over 3 times in my head, and by the time I managed to gather up the courage to speak my mind or to ask a question, the opportunity would just be gone. But now I'm just too excited to share a thought, or too curious about the question that I have, that it just overcomes any class anxiety that I might have. But my colleagues as well. My colleagues are some of the most amazing people that I have met. I think they're really great, and they're also just as passionate. And the conversation from the class is taken outside, and we debate all the time. And there's a lot of competition, but I think it's a really sort of a really healthy sort of competition, because there's also a lot of collaboration, because I think we all know that we're in the same boat together. So we talk a lot, we debate the subjects in the class, and everybody is just really passionate, really ambitious, really open-minded, and I think that helps a lot, and the passion grows on you the more that you are exposed to this environment as well. So yeah, that is why I love PPE at Warwick. I hope I managed to shine some light on it for you today. And I really hope that if you're interested in this degree, then you really give PPE at Warwick a go, because I think it's great, and I really, really, really love it. So yeah, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye-bye.